Everyone's heard the saying, you are what you eat. If you want a healthy body, you must provide it with adequate nutrients. You know, everyone's seen the Liver King eating raw steak, honey, avocado, eggs on a wooden cutting board. And we all know that's going to lead to a healthier body. In contrast, if we eat pizzas and donuts every day. I'm one of those people who really enjoy eating healthy. I'm actually like one step away from being like the Liver King and eating off a wooden cutting board. I eat like 10 eggs, some kiwis, some raw honey every day. So there is some truth to you are what you eat. But the other day I had an epiphany and I realized another saying, food for thought. And I'm like, if we are what we eat, what food does our brain eat? All we're feeding our brains are just endless slop on our phones through Instagram Reels and TikTok. And that's the equivalent of me sitting on my couch and eating a bag of chips. And no wonder we're getting stupider, I hope that's a real word, when we eat like shit. And the problem with social media now is you could go a whole day without having one deep thought. And you're going to end up in this echo chamber on your phone where you can't find an opposing opinion and you just automatically like what you see because that's what the feed recommends you. I have one friend and he thinks White Monster is the greatest energy drink of all time. Now, I'm not going to lie. I like White Monster and I'll crack one open. I'll buy one. But I'm not here thinking, wow, this is the greatest energy drink ever. And I came to that conclusion from trying other energy drinks instead of agreeing with everyone on the internet. So I think the internet psyoped my friend into believing that this was the greatest drink invented in mankind history. I highly doubt that homie cracks open the White Monster and Creed starts playing through his ears and he really does have a 10 out of 10 experience, which is possible, but I think it's much more likely to be the first option than what I just said. So I don't want you to doomscroll and assimilate with your feed. I want you to block out all the noise and become a free thinker, or at least oppose what you're being fed and let your brain actually think, do I agree with this based on my own opinions and experiences and values, or do I disagree? I'm not saying I'm all high and mighty and that I've never doom scrolled a day in my life and that I have Instagram deleted and my phone's in black and white and shit. But when I do, I'm usually watching some MMA videos and they're giving their opinions, and rage bait used to be believable. I'm watching my feed and homie's telling me that Mobsar versus Lauren Murphy was not a definitive number one contenders match and we should have John Silva fight for the belt. And I'm like, this guy's fucking 1-1. So I gotta disagree. So Kynan, here you go again, pointing out something extremely obvious and devaluing my life, saying, oh, you're an idiot because you doom scroll, without actually providing a realistic answer to my problem. So I'm very glad you asked that, thankful viewer, because what you should be feeding your brain is like a book or a documentary. It's gotten to the point where our attention spans are so fried that movies seem productive. And that's one step of getting your attention back and bringing your focus back. But that's a consuming hobby, not a creating hobby. So I would say pick up a new hobby that challenges your brain and forces it to make decisions. A decision-making hobby like chess or rock climbing, or make a YouTube video explaining your inner shower thoughts. For me, when I was younger, my hobby was playing fighting games. I really like Super Smash Bros. I really like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I like some Street Fighter. Fighting games are decision making based, but to me, it felt like I was making art. Because you ever see a combo video where they're just destroying the guy, and I can read what they're going to move next, and you predict it? That's challenging your brain. I said rock climbing because it's mostly decision making. When you're staring up at that V5 and you're like, how do I do this? You're going to sit there and move your hands invisibly in the air, trying to predict all the correct movements to finish the puzzle. And you look like a schizo staring at a wall in dead silence. So that's going to be my solution to you, is to pick up a new hobby. And right now is the easiest time to pick up any new hobby. Due to the internet, we have unlimited access to free information. Any problem you get stuck on, saying, oh, why do I place my hand here? What do I do with my feet? Yada yada. It can be answered via the internet. This is not internet based, but if you're 25 and under, as I'm assuming everyone who's watching this video high key is, your neuroplasticity is at an all-time high. When you're like 0 to puberty, that's when your brain grows the most via decision making. But then as you slowly become an adult, like 20 to 25, the faster you learn slows down. But you're still going to be to the point where those new pathways are going to be easily connectable as long as you just go in and try. Right? That's why as an adult, it's harder to learn a language than it is for a 5-year-old child to learn a language, because their neuroplasticity is more active and more present in their brain. So circling around, you need to feed your brain with new experiences and challenges. You want to healthily feed your brain. I don't want to see you shrivel up and starve from doom scrolling and 30 years down the line have Alzheimer's because you can't remember anything from 10 seconds ago, because your dopamine levels and your memory is completely fried from years of scrolling. So I'm just begging you to pick up the fork and eat. You have to feed your brain the same way you feed your body. Because remember, you are what you eat, and you need to have food for thought. Thank you for my TED Talk.